Hi, guys. Hello. So, here is a very fun thing for which my husband will probably kill me. I'm sorry for my lateness, but he left one of his lenses at home, which he never does. See, which he never does, because this kind of stuff might happen. I am assuming it's a wide lens because look at all this space. So I was a little late because I was trying to figure out how to mount it onto my gimbal. Hi, Kathleen. Hi, Crazy Cat. Hi, Armin. Hi, Roman. Hi, Nicole. And hi, Lauren. I am about to also start the live on TikTok. You guys are first today. No, I don't want to enter a face onto anything. So I'm also incredibly late for the news today in general because, and I will tell you the story of my day today. Boy, will you have a laugh. But I didn't have a laugh, but Grumpy had a laugh, and everybody who heard what happened had a laugh. Hi, Julian. Hi, Grumpy. So what happened today, first of all, I woke up this morning and my dog is in heat, which when she's in heat, she's absolutely unbearable. Not only because she has to wear a diaper, but also because she's incredibly needy. She doesn't leave my side, and she has to touch me with her body part at all times. Like she is here right now, and her butt is touching me. So I woke up this morning and my dog is in heat. I have white sheets, so if anybody has ever had a dog in heat, you can imagine exactly what that looked like. It was fantastic. So that was the beginning of my day. I also believe that whatever it is that Vasil has, I now have because I started coughing. John and I weren't able to film something that we needed to film for Mission Kharkiv in its entirety yesterday, so I had to wake up early morning today, and we had to finish filming, and then he had to edit it, and then I had to think of the scenario and of the voiceover and all this stuff. So a lot of work. And then John was running late to work, and he couldn't find his stupid wrench. And by stupid wrench, I don't mean me. That's a very misogynistic, unlike me kind of joke, but still a joke nonetheless. So he couldn't find his stupid wrench, and so he was looking for that wrench in he was looking for that wrench, and there was a can of paint. And I mean, not like a tiny little baby can of paint. I mean, not like a small little can of paint. I mean, like a gigantic mother effing can of paint. Like, huge. Like enough white paint to paint a room. And that is exactly what it was meant for. And it is an expensive, very, very expensive can of paint. And so I don't know where it was, but he accidentally turned this can of paint over, and it has spread all over my mother effing closet. And so I, coughing and feeling a little under the weather, Vasil, practically half dead and feeling under the weather for like 3 days now, had to sit there on our knees and clean up this stupid thing of paint for like 2 hours, because the problem is that is like one of those closets where I have my coats on top and then everything that I don't know what the F it is and how long it's been there and who it belongs to on the bottom. So 2 suitcases were covered in paint and we had to throw them out. My tennis racket is not fully covered in paint, but its cases. I have 3 bags fully smothered in paint that I need to that I need to even look what's in there and whether I should throw it out. Also, my Christmas lights are smothered in paint, so those are gone because there's no way I can take that out. And the reason why John couldn't help us is because he was running late to work. And you know, as he decided to leave the apartment, the two last things that he said, for which honestly, if someone finds him unalived tomorrow, it wasn't me. He says, well, at least it's water-based paint, so it's gonna come off. Rage. and then his stupid Huel arrived. I don't think it's stupid. Hey Huel, if you'd like to sponsor us, honestly, he loves it. He eats it way more. Like, I mean, he drinks it way more than anybody should. He loves it. He adores it. He's been like, you know, a loyal client for years now. He loves his protein shakes. He loves them. They're meal replacements for him, okay? but he was like, hey, my Huel has arrived. Can you bring it up? Because he was running late for work. And that stupid thing, not stupid Huel, we love you, please sponsor us, weighs like a little baby elephant because it's 2 giant bags of protein powder. And I just thought that I might lose it. but you know, it's okay. So yeah, basically my favorite cardigan that's wool is covered in white paint, and it's that yellow and white cardigan. I can't do anything about it because it's only dry cleanable, so the paint is most likely not going to come off. But yeah, so that's fantastic. I'm very, 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 very happy about that, as you might be able to tell. And yeah, pretty much that's my day. And that's why we are doing the news so much later than normal. Also because I still have to scrub my floors from white paint until it gets like in like little crevices, because I have wood floors. Because I still have to do that, I am going to jump into the news basically right away so we can be done in a decent amount of time. We're going to do that now. So hi, everybody. I hope you had a better day than I did. And I'm glad that you're here. Hi. For those of you who are new, which I see there are not that many new people today because, you know, nobody wanted to listen to my rant about paint. Hi, my name is Yulia. I was born and raised in Lviv, Ukraine. I moved to New York 12 years ago, and I have been living here since. My parents, grandparents, and everyone in my immediate family still lives in Lviv, Ukraine. And on this channel, every day we do the news and we dissect them, break them down, give them historical and geopolitical context. And news are about and from Ukraine for the past 24 hours. This stream is available on 4 platforms at the same time. It's Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, and for now also Twitter. Thank you, Lauren, but we will see how long that will last. So yeah, that is basically what we do. And if you prefer any which of those platforms mentioned, my handle is the same across all of my platforms. So if you are on TikTok, you can search me up on YouTube with the same handle and you will find me. So also, for those of you who said that you really enjoyed the Sunday news brief, here is what I was thinking. Because John is going to be helping me record videos, edit videos, and do all of this stuff, I was thinking that a good idea would be to have 2 days where we could do this. So I was thinking that maybe 1 second. 1 second. Hello? Oh no, I just finished the paint. Like when I texted you. No, it's gonna go on Donor C, and Charlie's gonna put it up. I will let you know when it goes up, and then we're gonna put it on Instagram too, because we have to put the things over it. And he's looking at it probably currently. Well, he was driving when I called him. No. We're just gonna put like either captions or a voiceover on top of it. And I brought your Huel up. Okay, I'm gonna go. That's funny. Oh, well, see, that's nice. I would have loved for you to have left for the 7:30 thing because we would have had more hands. It's okay. No, it's fine. All right. Well, Oh, that's funny. Oh no. I found the lens that you left and I put it on my camera, and it's a wide lens and it looks so much better for the live. Rock. It's your lens, the one that was on the table yesterday. Yes, it is fantastic. My camera. Yes, it does. Yep. Yep. Yes. Yes, I know. Okay. Look, let me call you back later because I need to do the news and Cindy is running around with her diaper and let me just call you back, okay? Okay, bye. So, sorry guys, I'm going to cut that out in post editing so no one has to experience that. I'm sorry, I'm a mess today. I don't even know what I was talking about, but yeah, so basically what I was thinking is how would you feel if we did how would you feel if we did how would you feel if we did Wednesday and Saturday news briefs and the rest of the week would be lives? Let me know what you guys think. Okay, Cindy. Oh, you can really? Wait, Scott, you could, Cindy, you could hear him. Oh my gosh! Yes, Yuli is your favorite drink. Wait, could you guys all hear what John was saying on the phone? Oh my goodness! You know, if anything, like if anything was very good at describing exactly how ridiculous my life is today, it's this. I just had a phone call on live and my microphone is right here. So I'm assuming you can all hear it. Oh, that's hilarious. At least he didn't say anything embarrassing, did he? and well, I'm glad that this was a fairly, I'm glad this was a fairly innocent phone call, and I'm glad that my dog right now is just going crazy in her diaper. Cindy, please lay down, I beg you. Cindy. Okay, Sin, stop it. Okay, stop it. It's way too late into this situation. You have a good mic. Yeah, this one's a very good mic. So yes, basically, as you might have heard, he's getting, he's only gonna have to do 10 minutes of stuff, and he could have helped me clean up this whole mess. I brought his Huel up, and and he didn't know that my camera is and he didn't know that my camera lens is adjustable, so I could use all of his lenses because he also has a Sony camera and his lenses are freaking great. So that is good to know. Anyways, okay, hello. um, the weekend videos look like a lot of work. Yes, it is a lot of work, but the thing is that he is going to be the one editing it, which he is much better at it, and he can do it much faster than I can. And the intro is going to be standardized throughout anyway, so it's not going to be nearly as much editing as it is. And also I will be basically, I will figure, one of the reasons why this was a lot of like work this time is because, well, first off, everything that could have gone wrong went wrong, and I just like couldn't my editor was glitching, my like video recorded in slow-mo. Also, it was the first time that I was recording a video like that, so when I'm live, I can read the news, I can sort of like it feels like a conversation, right? And when I was recording the video, it was really difficult for me first to get a grip on it, because like I want to bring in that conversation aspect into the video, but I feel like when I'm recording it, I am naturally starting to sound like a news anchor. And because I know videos go further than lives, I'm assuming there are going to be a lot of people watching this video who don't watch me daily. So I added like details to this that you guys obviously know, because I'd be like reminding about the events and stuff like that. So I just I need to polish the way that this is presented. But basically the way it's presented, but also the reason why I'm saying it'd be good to do Wednesday and Wednesday and Saturday, because Wednesday and Sunday, because it'd be like a midweek summary and an end of the week summary. And that way there are 2 videos coming out a week. And also on Wednesday and on Sunday, I will have time to like edit and do other things without prepping for the live. Because, if a live is 2 hours, Cindy, oh my gosh. Okay, fine. You know what? You can, Cindy, seriously. Okay, Sin, please. Thank you. Gosh. Oh my God. Okay. Cindy has a diaper because she's in heat, for anybody who's asking, but basically, what I was saying is that on Wednesdays, I will have enough time to do this, because editing this video probably takes like 2 hours. Getting ready for the live and doing the live takes 4 hours, because I have to like get ready. I have to, like read the news. I have to figure out what I'm going to be talking about. And then I'm also live for 2 hours. So realistically, the video does take less work, but I like the live format. And obviously this is what we do here daily. So the lives are going to stay, but I think that 2 times videos 2 times a week might be much more productive in terms of like, editing other videos and stuff like that. So that is that. We're 20 minutes in. Let's go into the news, because, I can talk forever. And I'm going to need, I'm going to need to start this at some point, sorry, I'm just so bad today. I feel like I'm really not having the hottest time in terms of just life today. So it's not really, I might be a little slower than normal, and I apologize, guys. I'm probably making a terrible impression for those who are stumbling upon this live, but hello. Okay, so first off, I will start with this because it's just funny, but at the 2022 World Cup, a fan with an inscription about Ukraine ran onto the field during the match. At the match of the second round of the World Cup between Portugal and Uruguay, a fan in a Superman t-shirt ran onto the field. Under the superhero's mark, there was an inscription in English, "Save Ukraine." In addition, he held a rainbow flag, and on his back, he had a call for respect for Iranian women. I don't know if you guys have seen this. I thought it was like fantastic and fascinating. It was really cool. And I think that he did a great job. I'm sure he got arrested or something like that, because, I think that people can't just like run onto the field like this, and referees and everybody always gets incredibly uptight about it. But I think it's really great what he did, and he ended up on front covers of so many publications with this, and it's it keeps the conversation going. Yeah, of course. Here's him getting detained to some degree. Cindy, hey. So yeah, but I think it's a very, like, it sounds like nothing special, but I think it's a very brave, very great thing to do, and it will save lives because more people are going to be aware that the war is still happening. More people are going to be aware about the events in Iran, solely because this guy whose T-shirt says, save Ukraine and respect Iranian women, ran onto the World Cup field and ended up on the front pages of newspapers, which is, like you couldn't ask for anything better than that. Also, hi, Christina. It's needed. They should never got in the event. Yeah, exactly. That's the whole thing, that, it's in Qatar. And Qatar is incredibly misogynistic. Qatar has very, very, very inhumane policies for LGBTQIA people. Qatar is just so problematic. There shouldn't have been any reason to have this World Cup in Qatar. Yeah. It's needed. They should have never gotten the event. Yeah. Okay, so Ukraine, for the past 24 hours, an emergency situation of military nature has been declared in Ladizhin, Vinnytsia region. 18,000 people are currently without heating due to attacks on the thermal power plants. So that's 18,000 people without an ability to warm themselves up. Actually, you know what? I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you the video of a video that John and I filmed yesterday, which is one of the reasons why I have, I was late today. But so I will show you. I will show you. So I'm going to find this probably on my phone because I just, it's on my computer and I think it's Google Drive, and I'm going to try and find it. Well, actually, you know what? I should have, everything is just going wrong today. But let me show you this video. And in this video, we filmed it. We were trying to portray a normal situation of life in Ukraine during this time, and I'm gonna have to narrate it, but it's for a fundraiser for Mission Kharkiv, which is a nonprofit organization that I volunteer for, as a lot of you know. It's a fantastic organization, and they're going to be fundraising for these solid fuel heaters in order to bring them to the affected areas of Ukraine. So now this video is work in progress, so don't judge it too harshly. But I am going to show it to you. I'm going to show you, share screen. Okay, my Drive, Google Drive. Awesome. So I'm going to show it to you on both. Flip camera. Why does it do that? I am just so bad at this stuff today. Okay, so it's gonna have to, it's gonna have to buffer, isn't it? Okay, so give me a second while it's buffering. I'm going to explain to you a little more about this. So there's a Donor C campaign. The Donor C campaign is with Mission Kharkiv, again, which is an NGO that I volunteer with. And they help the most vulnerable and affected people in the frontline cities that have recently been liberated in Kharkiv region. And we are going to try and expand our scope to other regions. So while that is happening, we are also evacuating oncology patients into clinics in into clinics. Oh, wow. We are also evacuating oncology patients into clinics in Europe in order for them to get better treatment. So with all of that said, Mission Kharkiv right now is trying to raise money. What the heck just happened? Mission Kharkiv right now is trying to raise money. Oh my God, you've got to be joking me. Okay, so my technology today absolutely hates me, but Mission Kharkiv right now is trying to raise money for solid fuel heaters in order to heat 100 homes in the frontline cities of Kharkiv. So it's 100 heaters, that's $19,000. And we are starting a fundraiser today. And so for that fundraiser, I took the initiative to ask John to record this video with me so we could basically show from our perspective what life is like every day in Ukraine. It's going to be narrated. So I'm going to try to walk you through the idea because without the narration, it does make sense, but not as much sense as it would with narration. So bear with me. Okay, Chrome tab, Drive, here we go. All right, so this is the video. It doesn't have any sound with it because basically there are only 2 hours a day in lots of cities in Ukraine where you can like charge up your electronics, and people need to work. So you basically end up sitting there wrapped up in blankets with no heat, with no electricity. You have electricity for 2 hours. You have to do everything that you need to do during that day in those 2 hours. And then you have to work because, that's just what you have to do. So the idea was that we would show a day. Then here I'm lighting a candle because there is no light. The only light is the computer screen. And then the iPad dies, or the computer dies. And this is a person still having worked all day, and they go to sleep in candlelight. So, and that is a typical day for your average Ukrainian. And that is very much so because, that's kind of how it is in a lot of cities in Ukraine these days. You won't have heat, you won't have electric. Your electric will be on for 2 hours a day. You have to work, you have to do everything that you have to do. So obviously the narration is not going to be as spotty as right now because me and Charles are going to write it out. But basically this is the video that we filmed for the campaign. And I don't know if you get this, if you get the, I would actually love to hear from you if you get that gist from that video. That it's cold, that it's that there is no electric, and that there's no electric, and that like time that the thing gets plugged in, that's the only time where you have electric. Obviously, I'm going to narrate that so people will know, but that is kind of the idea. So yeah, okay. The Swedish foreign minister said he brought to Ukraine the largest package of defense and financial assistance in the history of bilateral relations. The aid package includes ground-based air defense systems, ammunition, vehicles, various winter equipment and uniforms, armored vehicles, and 270 million euros. Several missiles were sent to Dnipro at night. They hit a private enterprise, the head of Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration noted. Production facilities were destroyed. A fire broke out. All services are working. Details are being clarified. The SES shared pictures of a love story from the front lines. Getting married despite the war is in the spirit of Ukrainians, and to make a creative marriage proposal to spite the enemies. Happiness to the future newlyweds. So he is a DSNS worker, so he's a first responder, and he had proposed to his girlfriend. And they're going to get married. So, yeah. That is a very lovely love story from a first responder. Also, Lisa is asking if the link is in my bio. It's not yet. We have to put out the fundraiser later today, but I'm going to be doing a fundraiser of my own. And that fundraiser is going to be for Torque. And I honestly would highly encourage you to donate to that one if you were planning on doing it, because basically Torque doesn't have any of his like uniform stuff or anything. And if you remember, Torque is the guy from my interview series. And he is going back to the front lines. Cindy did drop the diaper, but I put she can use these blankets. I can wash them later. He's going back to the front lines. And I asked him for his personal list of the stuff that he needs to buy. And he was like, please don't try to buy this for me, or like, please don't try to buy everything in this list. Like, you know, I'll obviously be grateful for whatever you can, but like, please don't do this. And this is Torque, normal for Torque. And I'm just like, sir, you know me, I'm going to try to get you all of these things. And it's mostly like, you know, it's mostly warm socks, thermal gear, military jackets, you know, like boots and stuff like that. It's a plate carrier. It's plates. It's like all of these things that one needs in, you know, on the front line while in service. And he's going back to serve on the 20th of December. So yes, very, very soon, in like 3-ish weeks. So I would really like to fundraise for full gear for him. And I will tell you exactly what he needs, because he needs a lot. Like, he doesn't have any, that's the whole point. He doesn't have anything. He does not have anything. Because, well, everything was lost in his battle for Mariupol, basically. So I will tell you exactly the things that he's missing, which is basically full gear. Okay, so let me see, because I translated it. Okay, socks 4 pairs, thermal layers, knee guards, U-backs, pants, helmet, fleece, 7th layer jacket, plate carrier, neck warmer or balaclava, tactical glasses, Gore-Tex, which is 6th layer, Solomon shoes, backpack, duffel bag, gloves, flashlight, handheld and helmet held, multi-tool, knife, first aid kit, sleeping bag. And then he needs like those like little like things that you put on your plate carrier where you carry ammo, but we're, you know, that's something that, Cindy, my gosh, I beg you, please stop. You're being so incredibly, Cindy, stop. So yeah, he needs all of these things. And so I'm going to ask you for a huge favor, because, you know, Torque has become a friend of mine. And obviously, Cindy, come here. And obviously, you know, I think that all Ukrainian defenders are amazing and that we should be helping all of them. But I am personally incredibly worried for him, and he has gone through so much in Mariupol already. And the fact that he's still not even fully healed, but he wants to go back and he wants to serve, and he's going back in such a short period of time. I just really want to make sure that he's staffed and saved and safe. So if you guys were planning on donating somewhere, I'm going to ask you for a favor to donate to the fundraiser to buy gear for Torque, because yeah, he's really worth it. And, you know, without people like Torque, our people would not be able to take another breath. So yeah, Sin, come here, come here, Sin. You gotta sit on top of. Okay, look. Hey, you have. One sec, guys. Sin, you have some restrictions now, and they include sitting on top of a blanket. Come here, come here. Don't you dare sitting on the pillow. I will kill you. Thank you. Okay. So there is that. Oof. Okay, so I'm going to create a GoFundMe at some point today. I was supposed to do it during the 2 hours that I was cleaning out my closet from paint. But alas, paint happened. Okay, main thing for today. The US is considering Boeing's proposal to supply Ukraine with missiles with a range of up to 150 kilometers. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak promises to increase military aid and air defense support to Ukraine. The Council of European Union unanimously decided to add sanctions circumvention to the list of EU crimes included in the Treaty of the Functioning of the EU. The foreign minister of Estonia, Finland, Iceland, Latvia, Lithuania, Norway, and Sweden arrived in Kyiv. Ukraine conducted a test import of electricity from Romania. Cine. In the city of Ladizhin in Vinnytsia region, a military emergency was declared due to an accident at the Ladizhin thermal power plant after a missile attack. The Swedish foreign minister announced a new aid package for Ukraine. It includes ground-based air defense systems, ammunition, vehicles, various winter equipment and uniforms, armored vehicles, and 270 million euros. So, Tom says, I have an extra plate carrier. If it would be of any help to him, it won't arrive in country until January. However, that is incredibly sweet of you. I will ask him. I'm sure he would be happy to. I'm sure he would be very, very humbled and very happy to accept that. So if I think that's a fantastic idea. If you guys have military gear in like good condition, then that's also an option. May I ask what paint we're doing in the closet? Well, it's kind of like a utility closet. Okay. A new character will appear in the superhero comic book Stormwatch from DC, a Ukrainian named Pavlo Stupka. The Ukrainian hero will become a member of the updated Stormwatch team, which, according to the plot, is subordinate to the UN and is monitored by a satellite. It became known that the Ukrainian will be depicted as a living generator who can fly. According to the plot, the hero is 52, but he looks 16. So this is very interesting. I saw that and I thought it was so cool that they're representing Ukrainians. I thought it was so cool. Thank you, Tom. I thought it was so cool that a new character has been added and it's a Ukrainian character. Like I am so, I'm so humbled by that. Ow. Ukrainian soldier found goats in his trench. Take a look. It's just goats there. EU. Ew. Oh my gosh. Nicole says that every time I say EU, it sounds like ew. It's ew. EU. I don't know if it sounds like you, like ew. Okay, Ukrainian volunteers discovered about 20 bodies of dead Russian soldiers near the village of Dovhenka in the Kharkiv region. After a forensic medical examination, the remnants of some Russian soldiers may be offered in exchange for the bodies of Ukrainian soldiers. I'm going to show you a video because it's a whole, it's a whole plot point. Not plot point. It's a whole interview kind of, documentary style interview, I guess, with the people on the scene. So I'd like you to see it. And after that, we'll discuss. But that's kind of, this is sort of what we've been talking about this whole time, that Russians just don't care they don't care about their fallen. And it's so upsetting because at this point, like the least bit that you could do is bring them home to their parents, Not that I really care about Russian soldiers and how they're being treated, but at the same time, this is just so disgusting on so many levels. Here.
Страшне. Наразі ми знаходимося біля села Довгеньке, це Харківська область, Ізюмський район. Під час пошукових дій стосовно загиблих Збройних сил України, військовослужбовців, були знайдені також тіла військовослужбовців Російської Федерації. Російські війська спробували знищити цю оборону, ударили дуже багато артилерії сюди, потім з літаків почали обстріли і вже пустили сюди піхоту, і піхота наразі тут вся майже і полягла. Так, у кармані знаходяться цигарки. Десь 20 тіл вже приблизно є. Це російські військовослужбовці, на деяких одягнено однострій український, це піксель, і нашиті георгіївські стрічки. Це говорить про те, що вони просто одягали, що було, тому що, мабуть, одягати було нічого, може там мобілізовані були або з тюрем понабирали людей і пустили їх, можна сказати так, на вірну смерть. Паспорт громадянина Російської Федерації. Грошові знаки 500 рублів. Ще 500 рублів і 2000 рублів. Далі християнська утварь і військовий квиток. Все це вже відома людина, тому вже буде і теж на обміни, вже повідомлять рідним, куди прийшов і де загинув. Бліндаж, і там вже зачищений, вже є військовослужбовець, ми не зрозуміли хто, тому що дуже темно було і він такий грязний, весь у багнюці. Росія зробила для нас таку велику біду, вона почала війну проти нас, знищувала наші міста і продовжує знищувати наших людей. Але ми залишаємось людьми навіть у такій ситуації і забираємо тіла військових і сподіваємося, що з їхньої сторони є такі теж мотивації, щоб забирати тіла, хоча б ховати загиблих українських солдат. І ще один з найголовніших меседж – це обмін військових російських на військових українських, вже загиблих. І це у нас поповнюється фонд загиблих, і можемо тоді говорити про обміни військовослужбовцям, які загинули внаслідок бойових дій. Вони не віддають просто так, не дають можливості заїхати, забирати, не дають ніяких гарантій, щоб ми заїхали як волонтери і забрали тіла українських військових. Для нас дуже важливо повернути кожного нашого хлопця з окупованої території, які залишились там.
So yeah, that is what is happening on the front line right now, and it's kind of, it's just, as I said earlier, I think the least bit that they could do is to just take care of their fallen, but it's not for me to advocate for them, but at the same time, it's just really gross to see that they don't even have enough decency to do that. The head of the Dnipropetrovsk Regional Military Administration clarified that Russians fired 4 missiles at Dnipro at night. There were no casualties, but the damage to infrastructure is very serious. So, as I very often do, I want to show you some picturesque areas of Ukraine, and this time I'm going to show you the Ackerman Fortress in Odessa region. Once on the site of the fortress, there was a Greek city of Tira. Initially, the Ackerman Fortress was built by the Genoese, then by local people, and even later by Moldavian Principality, which completed the construction. The Ackerman Fortress had 4 courtyards with an area of 9 hectares. The fortress was surrounded by a deep and wide moat of 3 sides. Throughout its history, the Ackerman Fortress was repeatedly besieged and suffered from attacks by Tatars, Turkish, Cossacks, and Russian troops. In the middle of the 19th century, it lost its strategic importance. So here is what the fortress looks like from above. This is the side. Oh. And this is from the inside. It's a very, very, very interesting site in Ukraine. It's a very cool fortress, and it's in Odessa region. It's on the, it's on the shore. It's beautiful. It's really, truly incredible. So here is a video from the front lines in Bakhmut, but I don't know if I can really show it at the fears of YouTube flagging this video. Let me see. Yeah, it's drone footage, really, and it just shows the damage of everything, but it's also kind of like, it's very much just the damage to, it's a very blurry video too, but basically, the fighting does not stop on Bakhmut front day and night. On the eve of the meeting of NATO ministers, Foreign Minister Kuleba said that the countries of the alliance urgently need to increase production of weapons. If this does not happen, he warned, we will not be able to win. Kuleba is the foreign minister of Ukraine. Actually, there is a lot of very interesting stuff that transpired around the UN, around the G7, around NATO today, and we're going to get into that. And I'm really excited to start talking about it because there is a lot. And there is one thing that happened today that I'm incredibly excited about, and I really hope that it does pass through our parliament, because I would love for it to. I would love for that to happen. Over the past day, the Ukrainian Defense Forces shot down enemy Su-25 and Su-24 aircrafts. The Air Force Command specified that an Su-24M bomber was shot down in the Lysychansk sector and an Su-25 attack aircraft in the Bakhmut sector. Slovakia handed over 30 infantry fighting vehicles, BMP-1, to Ukraine, Minister of Defense of Slovakia reported. Andriy Yermak said the war of democracy and autocracy is not only a question of Ukraine, it is about tomorrow. Our goal is to return to the 1991 borders, but the war of democracy and autocracy may not end there. For the victory of democracy, anyone must mobilize now. It is necessary for democracies to increase the work of the military-industrial complex because it concerns everyone. Autocracy can be defeated only by force. Strong Ukraine, strong countries of the West. Therefore, we need to think a few steps ahead. Air alert has been declared almost throughout the country as of 5:42 a.m. this morning, Eastern Standard Time. United 24 ambassadors Scott Kelly, Andriy Shevchenko, and Alexander Usyk met in Kyiv today. So as you remember, United 24 is the government fundraising and information campaign. And it's a government kind of agency at this point called U24 or United 24, and it's u24.gov.ua. And you can find information there. You can buy Azovstal last batch bracelets there. You can see who are the ambassadors for the platform who are collecting donations for various different causes for Ukraine. And one of the ambassadors is Scott Kelly, who is a very well-renowned American astronaut. His brother, Mark Kelly, actually just won the Arizona governor election. So that's not governor, sorry, senator, Arizona Senate race. So that's really, really cool. They are very, very fantastic and very fascinating people. And Scott Kelly had just met Andriy Shevchenko, who is Sheva, a very famous Ukrainian former soccer player, and Alexander Usyk, who is a very famous Ukrainian heavyweight boxer in Kyiv. And the three of them are the ambassadors for U24 fundraising. Head of the Dnipropetrovsk region, Valentin Reznichenko, showed the consequences of yesterday's Russian strike on Dnipro. And this is what it looks like. Take a look. Air alert has been canceled almost all over the country as of 6:43 a.m., so it was on for 1 hour. Hungary resumes blockade of Ukraine's participation in NATO meetings. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine confirmed that full participation of Foreign Minister Kuleba in the official meeting of NATO foreign ministers in Bucharest is blocked at the request of Hungary. Hungary continues sabotaging Ukraine in more ways than just one. And it's very interesting because they have been flip-flopping. I feel like there are two very clear sides in Hungary. The Hungarian president is incredibly pro-Ukrainian. The Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban is pro-Russian. However, he has been swaying his views a little bit, because I feel like he's understanding that he can't get much out of Putin anymore, and Putin's influence worldwide is kind of shrinking every day. So he's definitely switching sides a little bit, but Orban is definitely still trying to sabotage Ukraine in a lot of different levels as a precautionary measure. Losses of the Russian occupiers in Ukraine from February 24th to today amount to 88,380 personnel. A powerful explosion occurred near Chelyabinsk, Russia. Here is what it looked like. Chelyabinsk is very far away in Russia. It's kind of like, it's like middle of nowhere. So any movie that's trying to like say that someone is from God knows where, like godforsaken place, it's Chelyabinsk. So it's very interesting because this is what the explosion looked like. And apparently it was very big. I would assume that Chelyabinsk, being in the middle of nowhere, probably has ammunition depots and stores ammunition. So I would assume that that is what happened, but that's just an assumption. Minister of Defense Alexei Reznikov said that the LRU multiple rocket launcher systems donated by France have arrived in Ukraine. LRU is an upgraded version of MLRS 270. Hi, Danon. Explosions were heard in Kherson again today. It is the fourth time this day that explosions have been reported in Kherson. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak promised to maintain and increase military aid to Ukraine next year. He said this in his speech at the banquet of the Lord Mayor of London. We will support Ukraine as long as necessary. Next year, we will maintain or even increase our military assistance. We will provide new air defense support to protect the Ukrainian people and the critical infrastructure they rely on. By protecting Ukraine, we protect ourselves, Sunak said. Okay. Advisor to the head of the presidential office, Mikhailo Podolyak, said that in about 6 months, Ukraine will liberate the temporarily occupied Crimea. He said this on the air of the national telethon. According to him, in 6 months, he will specially go to the Yalta seafront to join the air of Ukrainian television. I have one favorite place there. I want to join from there, I guarantee. And we will talk to you about what a free Crimea will be like. Then all Russians will leave, Podolyak said. So here is a whole article on why Ukrainian authorities are so positively inclined to believe that that Crimea's liberation in 6 months is possible. And I will link that article in the description of this video. The German Ministry of Defense will supply Ukraine with 14 unmanned tracked modules, the MIS, manufactured by Estonian Milrem Robotics. And this is what they look like. Law enforcement officers have completed DNA testing of a body from a mass grave in Izum and confirmed that one of the dead is writer and poet Volodymyr Vakulenko. He was a writer of children's books, and I did talk a little bit about him briefly, and he was unalived in occupation, and it's really upsetting because most likely they have taken him out because he was writing books for kids in Ukrainian. 300-year-old gospel of Ivan Mazepa, who was a hetman of Ukraine, was saved in Izum during occupation. The unique relic was preserved by the employees of the local museum. They put a book in a circular showcase which only resembled the gospel. Now the book is in the storage under the protection of military. So basically, they tricked the Russians. They took the original book and they substituted it with something that looked like a book. And thank you, Kay. Armin's quote of the day is up, so I'm going to read it out to you guys. In 2014, Sergei Lavrov said, "We have absolutely no intention of or interest in crossing Ukraine's border. They lied then and they'll lie again." Russia. Yeah. It's the same as Putin said in 2008, I believe, that the borders of Ukraine have long been settled and there is no ethnic conflict there for Russia to have an interest in intervening, and that Crimea belongs to Ukraine. The IAEA is going to strengthen its presence at Ukrainian NPPs. The IAEA will strengthen its presence at all nuclear power plants in Ukraine to protect its energy infrastructure, said IAEA Director General Rafael Grossi. German President Frank-Walter Steinmeier sees no possibility for negotiations on a possible truce. A truce now would mean that Russia will retain the occupied territory. And along with it, border violations, disregard for international law, and land grabs will be sanctioned, he said. NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg said Russia is running out of ammunition and is asking Iran for missiles. We know that Russia is running out of ammo, and so they have also turned to Iran to get more. Kuleba will hold talks with NATO ministers in a separate meeting specially organized by NATO Secretary General Stoltenberg. So this is what I was talking about. Hungary is blocking Kuleba from participating in the official NATO meeting, and in response to that, Stoltenberg is going to organize a special NATO meeting specifically so Kuleba could participate. At this meeting, Dmytro Kuleba and his foreign colleagues will discuss further military assistance to Ukraine and the restoration of Ukrainian energy infrastructure, said Foreign Ministry spokesman Nikolenko. In the meanwhile, Russian FSB agent who assisted aggressor country in subversive activities in Odessa was sentenced to 15 years of imprisonment. So today was a G7 justice ministers meeting, and here is what came out of it. Russia must answer for crimes in Ukraine. G7 justice ministers adopted Berlin Declaration. The meeting of G7 justice ministers with the participation of Ukraine ended with the adoption of the Berlin Declaration and an agreement to closely coordinate cooperation to investigate war crimes in Ukraine and bring the perpetrators to justice. It was agreed to coordinate the activities of investigative and prosecutorial bodies and avoid duplication. It was also decided to create a central national contact point for the prosecution of international criminals in each state. The meeting was attended by the Ministers of Justice of Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, Great Britain, and the United States, as well as the Minister of Justice and Prosecutor General of Ukraine, the EU Commissioner for Justice, the Prosecutor General of the International Criminal Court, and etc. The Berlin meeting was the first one. The G7 justice ministers are expected to meet again next year. So that is fantastic because these are measures and active measures taken to bring Russia to justice as they have to be. U.S. to allocate $53 million to support Ukraine's energy system, said the State Department. The funding will be used to purchase critical power grid equipment, such as transformers, circuit breakers, surge arresters, disconnectors, vehicles, and etc. U.S. may declare Wagner a terrorist organization, according to Bloomberg. Recognition of the PMC Wagner as a foreign terrorist organization would allow the United States to begin criminal prosecution against the group and its members. Let me remind you, Wagner is the private military company that has committed so many war crimes in Ukraine and also has been actively recruiting prisoners out of St. Petersburg jails. Also, There is an update to that today. They're not only recruiting from St. Petersburg jails now, they're also recruiting from Central African Republic jails, apparently, and from Mali. And what they do is they recruit people who have been convicted of SA, terrorism. You know what? I will read you the whole list when we get to it in a couple of updates. So this is the thing that I really, really, really hope passes in our parliament, because I think that this would be, while it just seems like a small detail, I think it'll be incredibly necessary. Serhii Kyslytsa proposes to return the historical name Muscovy to Russia at the legislative level in Ukraine, referring to the experience of naming states in other nations. Permanent representative of Ukraine to the UN gave examples of the names of the states Hungary and Austria in different languages. So he says, let's take Magyarország, Hungary in English, Ungarn in German, Vengry in Polish, Österreich, Austria in English, Rakusko in Slovak. In short, whoever wants calls it that. So what prevents us, the cabinet ministers, the Verkhovna Rada, from returning Muscovy its historical name? The current one is stolen anyway, he wrote. So his point is that, let's say England is Angleterre, right? It's also England. It's also Anhia in Ukrainian per se. Austria is Österreich, but we call it Austria, right? Here, Georgia is Sakartvelo. Armenia is Hayastan, but we call these things other names, right? And these places other names. And so in a lot of different languages also, the United States of America is translated as something else, in a lot of places England is translated as something else and has nothing to do with the original name. So what I think is going to be a good idea is, in Russian, Russia is Россия. In Ukrainian, it's Rossiya. But I think that we should, in fact, adopt a resolution to call them in Ukrainian Moscovy or Moscovia, which is exactly what their name was until they stole the name Russia from Rus, which was Kyiv Rus. Latvian Foreign Minister Edgars Rinkēvičs said that Ukraine should have the right to strike military targets on the territory of Russia. Gruzia is a Russia. So I don't know if whoever just wrote that says Gruzia says Gruzia. Well, so Gruzia is a Russian name for Georgia. They actually don't want to be called Gruzia because that's what Russia called them. They're okay with Georgia, but they're actually Sakartvelo. So Gruzia is a Russian name, or like derived from Russia. Thank you, Kay. Thank you so much. Latvian Foreign Minister Edgars Rinkēvičs said that Ukraine should have the right to strike military targets on the territory of Russia as it repels attacks on its own critical infrastructure. He expressed this opinion on the sidelines of the meeting of NATO foreign ministers in Bucharest. The House of Representatives of the General States in the Netherlands today recognized Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism, Zelensky said in a video address. The domino is starting to fall, and more countries are recognizing Russia individually as a terrorist state. Wagner's men recruit prisoners in Central African Republic, allegedly. According to one of the publications, the Wagner PMC began to release rebels from the Central African Republic to fight in Ukraine and Mali. Some of the recruits have been convicted of SA and murder, while others are terrorists who controlled the territory of the Central African Republic during the civil war in the country. Fantastic. Not only Putin should be punished, said Olena Zelenska. I think that this is not just one person. Putin. We are talking about a collective Putin, and I believe that the entire collective Putin should be punished, the First Lady of Ukraine said. Zelenska also added that it is necessary to unite the international community to support the creation of a special tribunal to punish Russian war criminals. She called on the United Kingdom to take the lead in establishing such a special international tribunal to prosecute Russia for its aggression against the Ukrainian people, stressing that just stopping the war is not enough. So this is a video that I'm going to show you. It's obviously our favorite Solovyov show on Russia 1. You know, we love the Russian propaganda shows, but actually they're like they're funny, they're entertaining in some ways, although they're infuriating, but they're also entertaining in a way. So I'm going to show it to you. It's 10 minutes, it's not 3 minutes, it's just a little over a minute. And it's an excerpt from his show where this one man is Sergei Mikheyev, has called for Russia to step up its missile strikes on Ukrainian critical infrastructure in order to create a massive humanitarian crisis leading to another 10-15 million refugees. He says Russia should ensure that Ukraine has no civilian population. And this is the country that some countries are still not recognizing as a terrorist state, by the way. Oh, thank you so much, Jillian. Jillian emailed Rishi Sunak to ask him to recognize Russia as a terrorist state.
Украинцам хочется сказать, да, как бы, слушай, но если вы так свято верите в то, что вас так любят, что же они вас здесь-то держат? Пусть заберут туда. Ну ладно, армия, ладно, те, кто воюет, понятно. Но всех остальных пусть заберут в Америку.
Таким образом, Украина вступит в ЕС, НАТО,
да,
частям населения.
Да, конечно.
Но не страной.
Пусть Америке мы даже готовы дать им, вот зерновая сделка есть, к ним просто нет. Да, с американцами заключим гуманитарную сделку. Пусть они пришлют сюда 100 проходов, так сказать, да, и будем из Одессы выводить и туда, вперед, туту, как бы на Америку, и привет. Вот то были философские пароходы, а эти вот будут гуманитарные пароходы. Я говорю совершенно серьезно. Господа украинцы, вы подумайте об этом. Вы верите в помощь Запада? Вот если бы они вас накормили, напоили, так сказать, и спать уложили у себя там, это была бы помощь Запада. А теперь, так сказать, к более серьезной ноте, действительно, нам надо сделать так, чтобы Украина вынуждена была бы отправить еще 10-15 миллионов беженцев в Европу. И пусть эта Европа решает эти проблемы. Да, она богатая, она решит. Пусть решает. Пусть решает. Это совершенно правильно. И удары по инфраструктуре, которые должны дезорганизовать жизнь всего украинского государства, это на самом деле тоже формат ведения специальной военной операции, войны, как хотите. И это, кстати говоря, сохранит и жизни гражданских, и жизни военных.
Yeah, you know, missile striking Ukraine to the fullest and ensuring we have no civilian population and leaving everybody without heat and electricity is definitely going to save lives. Yeah, that is an incredibly profound statement over here. Gosh. NATO will step up support for Ukraine and help protect it from missile attacks. Statement following NATO ministerial meeting. Russia bears full responsibility for this war, a blatant violation of international law. Russians mobilized in Stavropol, Russia, are being sent out to war with cheers and applause. Fantastic. Well, fortunately or unfortunately, that's all I have for today. I think the most important things that happened were the G7 meeting, the first in history, the NATO resolution to the NATO special meeting created for Kuleba to participate, which that's a very, very, very big point. And that's a very important point. It's a very important statement because basically they were like, well, Hungary, you can block whatever you want to block, but we're going to have that meeting anyway. And I think that that's a very, very, very big thing that... Привет, Marek. a very big thing that they have done. And I think that, one of the ways to show Putin and Hungary and all of these pro-Putin countries that they've got nothing on this is to basically go straight against them and show them that no matter what they say, their word doesn't really matter. And I do think that Ukraine should adopt a resolution to call Russia. Ukraine should adopt a resolution to call Russia Moscovia, because why not? Again, as I said earlier, it's one of those things where in different languages, different countries are translated in different ways, and why can't we call Russia what it actually was before it stole the name? Bad and hated Russians. So here's what Armin is saying. Armin is saying that sort of mentality is exactly why General Patton hated Russians and wanted to extend World War II into an anti-USSR war. We are left wondering if his hatred and desire for more war was justified. Honestly, I don't even think it was hatred. I think it was I don't think it was hatred. I think it was honestly just him really looking thinking steps ahead and thinking of how dangerous it is to leave Russia without any repercussions. And now we know that it was dangerous because Russians consider themselves the only and the sole reason why Nazis were defeated in 1940s. And they consider themselves the victors of World War II. And there's just so much ego. There is so much superiority complex. There is just so much, blatant, inflated worth that they have for themselves, that this narcissism is now, just, showing itself in the war, and has been showing itself in all of the wars beforehand. 56 тисяч людей на лайві, нічого собі, це дуже багато. Круто, молодці. So yeah. All right, guys. Well, let me know if you have any questions, suggestions, or discussion topics, and we can go over all of that. I will remind you that what I decided to do is I will be doing summaries on Wednesdays and Sundays. So I think on Wednesdays, instead of lives, it'll be the YouTube videos, like the one that I did this Sunday, and they're going to be extended through Sundays and through Wednesdays. So I think that it's going to be really helpful, and I think it's going to be like a good break midweek, because I know a lot of you can't sit through a 2-hour news live, and 20 minutes max is a very efficient way to catch up on the news, and it'll also give me more time during the week to work on segments like Bleep They Say to Us and the cooking show, the Ukrainian food cooking show. And Roman says, clean up the paint. The paint is cleaned up. I now need to literally just go over the floor. Дякую. Дуже вам дякую. Вам також удачі. But so basically, yeah. So basically, I just have to scrub the paint off of the crevices of the floor. But other than that, I am, I've cleaned up most of the paint. I do also have to take out 7 trash bags of just paper towels and all of the stuff that's been smothered in paint. So yeah. Many people saw the coming of the Iron Curtain and despaired, and yeah, they were right. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I don't think the Iron Curtain should have ever fallen down. It was much more convenient and much more necessary for Russia for the Iron Curtain to go down than it was for the rest of the world. We didn't need that, really. So yeah. So yes, you guys let me know. You guys let me know what you treat for Sin today. Okay, yeah, I can give her 1 sec. Sinona. Oh, Sinona. Why are you sitting like that? Okay, wait, don't move. Don't move. Don't move. Don't move, Bubs. Okay. There we go. Oh my gosh. My knee is killing me. So yes, Cindy got a treat. I didn't even make her do anything for the treat. I think she deserves it. She's having a day. She is having a day. So I think what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to go live a little later tonight as well. And I'm going to post a link to the fundraiser for Gear for Torque. Thank you, Bunny, for Gear for Torque on my... oh, cool. For Gear for Torque in my link in bio. And I also will go live and talk a little more about it. And we can have like a chat later. I just hope that I can. Thank you so much, Bunny. I'm really glad that they're helpful. And so I really hope that that I can just, you know, be able to do all the stuff that I need to do right now, including the paint stripping and then grocery shopping, and then I'll come back and we can and I'll do a live where we can talk a little more about all things Ukraine and whatever updates are going to come at that point. How do you feel about that? You guys let me know, and I shall see you later. Okay? I want a treat. Oh my gosh, Nicole, you're funny. You are funny. Oh my god. Ow. Bye, Veronica. Oh, my knee is killing me. Oh, I hate that. Okay. Ooh, stuffed mushrooms do sound really good. Bye, guys. Bye.